the 4 events, 4 meetings we have planned for you, for the business support organization coming from Central European countries. The objective of today and the next meetings is to reciprocally learn, share, and improve our competencies about how to deliver better services to our clients, our SMEs. My name is RWTH from Friuli Innovazione, and I immediately leave the floor to the lead partner, Eva Breu from MESAP, for a brief introduction of the project, and then we proceed with the agenda. Eva, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So I will start the presentation mode right now. So it should work, right? Okay, so my name is Eva Breu. I'm coordinating the project with 7 further wonderful partners, and I would like to give you a short overview. So Boost4BSO is the abbreviation for business support organizations, and we want to scale up their Industry 4.0 capacities to support the SME. So we have started almost 1 year ago, and the partners are from Austria, Czech Republic, Germany, Croatia, Italy, and Poland. And in detail, we have EVO from Czech Republic, from Austria, BSOs and University of Applied Sciences, and the German partner Bayern Innovativ, the cluster mechatronics, and from Italy, MESAP and Friuli Innovazione, and from Croatia, Stepri Science and Technology Park from Rijeka, and finally from Silesia, the Automotive and Advanced Manufacturing cluster. And the project is based on 2 previous Central European Interact projects, namely Innopeer ABM and Things Plus, as well as on Horizon project IoT for Industry. Our main objective is, on the one hand, to build up capacities in BSOs related to Industry 4.0, and with the main aim to support SMEs, local companies in their transformation towards Industry 4.0. So what was the story behind? Our intention is to inform as many BSOs as possible, and so we created somehow a snowball effect, starting with a very minor snowball, which becomes larger and larger, and related to or equal to the number of BSOs that are involved in our project, and with the main focus to make SMEs happy, to deliver them added benefit. And within the first wave, and I must admit I have created the project before Corona, so it has nothing to do with COVID, these waves. And the first approach was to have a peer learning among the project partners. And this has built the basis for the selection of the topics for the second wave, which we are starting today. And the focus of this second wave is not only telling you what are the main aspects of Industry 4.0, in fact, it is how to apply the tools. Because I think that most of you are already familiar with some of the Industry 4 related topics. And so it's not useful to tell you all the details regarding technology or business models and so on. But the most important thing is to discuss and to tell you how to approach SME with our tools to bring added value to them. But we are not stopping after the second wave. We are going to spread our ideas further. And for this purpose, we have involved the European Cluster Collaboration Platform to transport our ideas to a broader audience. So regarding the topics for these 4 events, you have already seen them in the invitation, and I'm happy to welcome a lot of BSOs who participate in the second wave. And today we're starting with the opportunity assessment, and in the consecutive weeks we're spending our Thursdays afternoon together regarding technology implications, business implications, and finally the transformation roadmap. And we hope to have a local workshop in our native languages in all of the partner regions. In Linz, it will be for the Austrian partners on the 26th of May. And I'm sure that our project partners will inform you about their local events. And I'm really keen on starting now with the opportunity assessment, and we'll hand over to Saverio to tell us the details of today. Thank you.
Thank you, Eva, for the introduction. I will rapidly go through my presentation. It's not really a long presentation, it's just something useful for you, for understanding the rule of the game today and what we are going to do in the next 2 hours and a half. As anticipated by Eva, today's topic is the maturity assessment by using the VDMA assessment tool. This is the first part of the 4 meetings we are going to have in the next weeks. And is the first brick of this competence pack that we are offering to you as BSOs. And this is really important because then you are going to use the tool that VDMA has developed. And we are very glad to have here Mr. Ralf Wiegand from AW Consult, that is one of the companies that developed this tool. And he is going to showing us and explain us the methodology. Then you're going to use the tool in a practical exercise after a short break, of course, but very, very short because the time is running already. After the group work, we are going to debrief and to take some conclusion. Just for some information that are quite usual now in the world of virtual and remote learning. First is that the fact that this workshop is going to be recorded, at least for the first part, for the plenary session. This is for your information. As always, keep the microphone and the camera, microphone off and the camera on, because this is the way to which we can deal with so high number of participants without any disturb in doing the presentation. As for the question, you can ask question at the end of each presentation, not to interrupt the speaker. And keep your smartphone close to participate to the ice-breaking quiz. It's something quite funny. We're prepared for you to warm up a little bit more the groups working. We'll work in 4 teams. Maybe you're aware of this because you receive invitation, but don't worry about any technical issues. We have the technical assistance behind. You don't have to do anything. You'll be brought to the group that you are assigned automatically because we already divided the groups and the participant. Pay attention that the teams that we have defined are still lasting for the next events. So hopefully you will become friends or at least colleagues thanks to this capacity building session. Today, as already said before, we will test the assessment tool developed by VDMA with the expert Mr. Wiegand. And in a couple of minutes, he will introduce the technical part. At the end of the group work, so we have the plenary session now, then we have the break and the working groups divided in groups of about 14 people each. At the end, the team leaders, I suppose that you know that each group has a team leader, but we will repeat once we are in the group, in the room. We are going to close the session with a take-home message, let's say, a slogan that they can resume the most interesting issues and topics that you will bring home after today's workshop. This is the timing. We as partners, we are going to supervise inside the groups and verify that things are happening according to the time plan, because the time is really, really short. But I think we are going to deliver the good work anyhow, because we designed the workshop in a most feasible way to stay in time and anyway, trying to touch all the points. So this is a very intensive session today. Just to resume, to recap, today's mission is to understand the VDMA tool and for the exploitation and the maturity assessment of SMEs. And I'm talking about the pilot action. In a couple of months, 1 month and a half, we are going to launch a call for pilot action to select SMEs that are going to test our capacities, and through which we are going to offer them a strategic plan to be much more competitive in the Industry 4.0 framework. So my message now is to be aware, be proactive today, because the things we are going to learn, we're going then to use in a real world. So it's not just about theoretical learning, but it's a practical learning. So today we are going to be familiar with the overall methodology. We are going to find a team spirit, because this is essential now for the training session, but also then after that, that for the work we are going to deliver with companies. And never forget that today we are here to learn how to support SMEs by improving our skills. So we have to have very clear in our mind that the final objective is offering SMEs better services by improving our competencies. So it's a win-win situation potentially for us to be more proficient, and for the SMEs to get more support. Okay, I'm going to close and to leave the floor to Marco Mangentini, my colleagues from MESAP, that will explain the real rule of the game today.
Okay, thank you. I think you see my screen, so I will be quick because, as Saverio said, we are running with the time. So a little information concerning what we are going to do concerning the gamification. I think that everyone is aware that these type of events and workshops are quite intensive, if you want to use the words from Saverio. And so we wanted to, in some way, get them a little bit lighter, introducing some elements of gamification. In this way, the events could be more enjoyable, and at the same time, we can also increase the level of learning. So we wanted to organize the events in this way. There are really few rules that I want to highlight with you. So, first of all, as you can see from the agenda, the theoretical session will be carried out in only one room, this one in which you are. When we have to start the simulation of the assessment, we will go inside several rooms. 4 rooms because there are 4 teams, and these 4 teams, or 4 working groups if you want, are the same all along all the events, because in some way we want also to reinforce the connection between you, the networking, but for sure is important in order to establish some ranking inside the game aspect of the events. We have decided to give as maximum 50 points for each event. So the same number of points for each one in order to be able to be harmonized. And according to how to manage the points, every workshop, every event will have his own rules in order to allocate these points. What we offer as price. Obviously, no money, sorry, but something that is quite connected to communication effects. So a digital trophy, some elements of visibility in our website, the winners team in the slides, information to the secretariat. So everything that can be made through social of tools will be made in order to enhance the capacities and also to highlight the capacities of the team that will win. And finally, we suppose and we want to invite the team that is going to win to the our project final ceremony. So, little tips. As maximum, we should try to take part to all the events. As I said before, in order to not only to be able to play, but also to adopt all the information and to know something more concerning the Industry 4.0. So it's a long path lasting 4 events, and it would be good to be participating in all the 4 events. We said about questions, you can put the questions. Obviously, don't be shy. Share your ideas when there will be the simulation of the assessment. It's very welcome that everyone could in some way interrupt or give ideas in order to try to solve the questions and try to have fun. Which are the teams? You already saw in some way. We also created, if you want, some logos, taking the occasion of some movies or some TV series. So the first one is Bazinga, the second one is Fast and Curious, third one is the Science Squad, and the last one, A Beautiful Mind. So these are the 4 teams that will compete among each other in order to be the winner to the final trophy that we are going to give you. As you saw in the agenda, we have a ice-breaking quiz. We will not give any point, but it's only intended for warming up you. Then we will have the assessment simulation, 30 points available. And this is something that will be up to the expert. Then we will have a quiz about the methodology of VDMA. And there will be 5 questions, so 3 points for each question, maximum 15 points available. And as Saverio said before, we would like to have some take-home messages. So some messages that is that are giving us what you learned, what are your impressions, should be messages good and ready to cook for the communication issues. So really, these are the rules. Quickly, I think are quite easy, understandable. In any case, we are here if something is not still clear, but I think we have to, yes, to leave the floor to the next intervention, and so I leave to Saverio the floor for introducing the expert.
Thank you, Marco. Since we are already in delay, of course, I will leave the floor to Mr. Ralph Wiegand for starting the presentation concerning the VDMA tool and starting the theoretical session.
Yes, hello, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present you today the Industry 4.0 Readiness Online Self-Check for Business. That's the long term for our check. And I would like to give you in the next 20 minutes a kind of introduction about the basic structure of the self-check and its objectives, but also some details about the underlying readiness or so-called maturity model. So I will begin with the first slide. The background is a study from October 2015, so it's more than 5 years ago. It was called the Industry 4.0 Readiness. And we did it for the client, the so-called IMPULS Foundation of the VDMA. And for all the people who do not know the VDMA, it's a very big industrial association of the mechanical and plant engineering industry here in Germany. And the study was conducted by IW Consult, which is my company in which I am employed in. This is a subsidiary of the Cologne Institute for Economic Research. I don't know whether you know it or not. It's a private research institute with about, let's say, 400 employees in Cologne and also in Berlin. And we did this study together with the Institute for Industrial Management, called FIR, at the RWTH Aachen University. This is a very excellent university here in Germany, and both partners conducted the study for the VDMA. One thing, you can download the study free in the German language, but also in the English language on the VDMA website. So what was the aim of the study? Let's say 2 aspects. First, to examine where the companies in this field, especially mechanical and plant engineering, currently stand in terms of 2015, so it's a couple of years ago, and focusing on what are the motivates for using or going into Industry 4.0 and what holds them back, what are the obstacles, what are the hurdles, and to get more information about that. And the thing was to get a more detailed and systematic picture of the Industry 4.0 readiness in the engineering sector. That was the aim for doing this study, which has about 70 pages to read in. And very important, and also important for the tool we'll talk later about, is the so-called readiness model. This readiness and capability is a model that was developed exclusively for the study. We did it together with the colleagues from the FIR. And the core of this model are 6 essential dimensions of Industry 4.0. I would like to introduce you into this dimensions, because you will see all the day on all these 6 dimensions of Industry 4.0. So the first one is strategy and organization. And there are some fields associated with it. It's like strategy, of course. And it are the investments and also the innovation management. The second is the smart factory. You see often the term smart. So now we are at the smart factory. The smart factory is the next dimension of Industry 4.0, and it belongs to the fields like digital modeling or equipment infrastructure or data usage or also IT systems. This is the second, the smart factory. And the third are smart operations. Smart operations are associated with some fields like the cloud usage, the IT security, autonomous processes, information sharing, and so on. And the next one are the smart products, so these are the smart products, the next dimension, which belongs to data analytics in usage phases and also ICT add-on functionalities. You will see all these parts which I describe right now later on in the self-check when you do your practice. And the next one are data-driven services, and they belong to the share of data used, the share of revenues, and also data-driven services. And the last one, but very important one, are the employees. It's not technical like all the other dimensions, but now it's about the person who works with these things, are the employees. One thing are the employee skill sets, and the other field is the skill acquisition. Very important for every company to face all the things with the digital transformation. Of course, you are probably familiar with this. So this is the basic of the model, the 6 essential dimensions of industry. And after describing these dimensions, I would like to show you for what are these dimensions resulting in a kind of classification. You see on the very right side 3 terms. You see the newcomers, you see the leaders, the learners, and you see also the leaders. And we described it in a little more detailed levels. You see the level 0 are really outsiders. They are, of course, newcomers and very low competence in terms of Industry 4.0 or digital transformation. The next level is the level 1, or beginner. And then is level 2, of course, the intermediates, which are learners. And then we have 3 levels from 3, 4, and 5, who are, in our opinion, or in this study, leaders, which are experienced. The next step would be expert, and the highest level are top performers. And this is very important to understand later where you go when you start the digital check online. So every of these dimensions was weighted differently, so they are not in the same. They have not the same weighted when it comes to result, and every answer is assigned to a maturity level, to a readiness level. And we'll show it in a very simple example, like this one you see here. The question is, it's from the strategy and organization dimension. The question is later in the questionnaire, how would you describe the implementation status of your Industry 4.0 strategy? And you see the answers: no strategy, pilot initiatives launched, strategy in development, strategy formulated, and so on. And you see all belonging to them to the different levels. Like you say, if you have no strategy so far, it's level 0. If some initiatives, some pilot projects launched, it's level 1, and strategy in development, it's level 2. Strategy formulated, it's the next one. And in implementation is then level 4, and implemented is then level 5. So that's the logic behind every dimension and every question. Every question is put into this kind of scheme and will later bring you to your level in your company where you are right now from this starting point. The next thing is, we did not only conduct the study, but we also thought about it to bring it online, because even a couple of years ago, it was a very popular thing to put the things into the internet, to put it online. And the other thought was to see it was not static like a study. You do once the study and the results are the same. An online system is still working all the time as long as it is online. And this online check, we did it parallel with the study, and it has some different aims. First, to serve as a basis for the self-assessment which we're talking about all the time. And the other thing, to give companies the opportunity to compare the progresses with other sectors or other industries or economic sectors. This is, we think, very important to see where do I stand compared to other companies with my similar size or with my similar revenues around. So what you see on the right side, I just want to give you a very slow overview. This is the starting page of the check in the internet, and the next slide shows you what happened then in the end. If you go to all these 30 or 35 questions, we will get overall evaluation, like you see on the right side, where you get an overall evaluation about your rank in terms of the level, and you get also some very detailed evaluation and action items. And this will show the next slide. You will always see some charts where you get compared with your level in your comparison group, which you have chosen before. But these things I will explain it to you more in detail in my second part after the short break. So I will give you more information, more details about the working of the online check. My next slide will give you some facts in conclusion about the online check. First thing is very important for you and for your purpose with the check. It's, of course, it's free of charge. This is one very important thing. To know, you always have to keep in mind, it consists of about 35 questions and is mainly aimed to companies for the mechanical engineering and manufacturing sector, just because it was conducted for the VDMA. So this is the mainly aim in terms of the companies. And what we have seen in the last years, we are very happy about it, and also the VDMA, more than 9,500 companies completed the check so far. More than 20,000 started it, but didn't go until the end of the questionnaire. But 10,000, almost 10,000 results are so far available. And now, one very important thing for your future work, I think, the overall readiness of the companies is, let's say, only about 1.4 out of 5 maturity levels. So still in the average of all the companies who did this check, it's only 1.4 so far. It's not an accusation, but only an observation. And it's very interesting. We also do the statistics on the check every year. And it's very interesting to see that there's almost no, but maybe a little slightly development in the maturity level. And this is a little bit surprising for us, because we had expected that it would be a development, let's say, from starting from 1.0 to, let's say, 2.2 or 2.3, but it's still in the average. It's right now in the year 2020 about 1.4, 1.45. So this is very interesting to know. And when you later do the survey for yourself, it's interesting to see where you land when you get the results later on. And one more detail to this, the smart factory is the lowest in industry 4.0 dimension, with approximately 0.9 points from the 5 levels, and the employees is the highest with approximately 1.7, so almost level 2 in our readiness model. So these are the facts about the introduction to our online self-check. And if you have any question, thanks for your attention. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to ask me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wiener, for the introduction. I have a question, actually, first, because you thought that the VDMA tool is designed mainly for a kind of companies, manufacturing, mechanical engineering, mainly, but not exclusively. I mean that we can use it also for companies belonging to other, let's say, NASIC codes. Okay.
Of course, some of the questions are, maybe you see it later, really related to, let's say, the manufacturing or producing sector of the economy. Let's say the service sector is not really touched by this, or also the handicrafts and something else. But you can use it free, and the most questions are really usable for every industry. It doesn't have to be only the mechanical engineering. It's important for the comparison for the VDMA to see which group inside the VDMA has which level in terms of industry 4.0, but you can use it, of course, for every other company.
Very good. I see another question. Please, Martina.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Martina Medrano. I'm from a regional business development or support agency. And I would like to know if it's possible to use this tool for supporting our companies in our region. For example, they are doing this self-check, and we can use it for recommending which partners could they cooperate with. Is it possible to use it in that way, or is it just something on your website and they attend this questionnaire and then we can never see the data or exchange with them?
No, you can use it completely free in terms of, on the beginning, I tried to go back. On the beginning, I put somewhere, I'm sorry, let's look for it. I do have somewhere, there's a URL. If you see down on the slide, there's HTTPS, www, and so on. And if you open this website, the check will start and you can use the check. You can recommend your companies to use the check, and they will get the results online and also at PDF.
Okay, great.
There's no restriction. There's also no, you don't have to leave your contact data or your email if you don't want. It's completely free.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, you can see in the chat from my colleague Selina also the link to the online self-check. Going on, we cannot offer, of course, a coffee, but we can offer a nice breaking short session, and I leave the floor to Selina to introduce this short game.
Sure. So just a couple of minutes just to warm up a little bit. I'm sharing with you the, first my screen, and you will see here the presentation. You can go to Mentimeter, and you will see here the instruction. I will also put it in the chat. You will go to Mentimeter and use the code 73951201. To participate in the quiz. So from your cell phone, as Saverio told before, you can enter www.menti.com, insert the code, and then vote. There are 3 questions, and as soon as you're ready, you can start voting. Good.
Where is to be typed? Sorry.
You can just take your phone, your cell phone, and browse to www.menti.com. You can find this little string on top of the slide. I have just put it in the chat, so you can just copy paste it. Okay, I see there are many people who are voting. Okay. I will just wait some more seconds and then go to the second question. I see first answer is winning. Okay, and actually the majority of us actually got it correct. So we can go to the second slide. You will see on your phone the question will change automatically. So the second question is, SMEs represent what? Okay, we will wait a little bit. Okay. Very good, okay. So you all got it correct, almost. And so let's go to the third question.
In reality, was the second one.
The second, sorry, almost everybody got it. Okay, the last one. Which is a funny one. So what does Goofy eat to become super goof? The faster gets more points. Ten more seconds to reply. Okay. And actually, yeah, the majority got it right too. So we can see who is the winner for this. It doesn't work. I mean, it doesn't count for the groups, for the teams, but the winner is Earthman, whoever he or she was. Okay, thank you for participating in the ice-breaking quiz. So we can go ahead with theoretical session.
Yeah, Mr. Wiegand, the floor is yours again for going deeper into the cases of today and then the methodology.
Yeah, thank you very much. So as you said, I will go deeper into what I already showed you during the last 20 minutes. And of course, I really enjoyed if you have some question, ask me the question after my presentation, and I hope I will be able to answer all the questions which will arise. So I will show you more in detail what you see when you start the Industry 4.0 Readiness online self-check for businesses. So this is the starting page, and you see what I have showed you in the presentation before. You see the different dimensions, and you see the level which you can achieve as a company if you go through the questionnaire. And there's some explanation about the things. The very important thing, if you go on About the Model, it's a very short and small website. If you go to About the Model, which I show you right up above of the website, it explains to you what are the key dimensions of the Industry 4.0 and what is the basis also for the readiness model. That's what I've explained you more before in the slides. You see it here again, and if you and down here you see which level you can reach, 0 to 5, and level 0 is the outsider, and so on and so on. These are the things I explained to you more in detail on the slides before. if you can, as a user, you can press about one, for instance, strategy and organization box, and then you get short explanation about what's behind this term, what do we mean by it, and this is of course important. These are the questions, the criteria which will be asked you later on in the questionnaire, like implementation status of the strategy, the operational and review strategy, and so on. You will see it all later on the questionnaire. The next slide, before you can start with the online check, some notes on the concept, some notes about evaluation, of course, some terms of use and terms of data privacy. This is just for information. Of course, you should read it as a company. You should know what there is written. It takes, let's say, 5 to 10 minutes really to read it, but it's not that complicated and not that extending stuff that it should be easy for the companies to go to the next step. You see down here, you know it from every other questionnaire or something else. You see always a next or a previous button. I show it to you in the next slide. The case study, what I have done, I want to show you how the test works and what are the mechanics behind it. And so I just create a very simple case study. It's a company from the mechanical engineering in the specific precision tools branch operating. It's a VDMA member, but it doesn't matter if you are a VDMA member or not. It's only important for the VDMA to see are you a member or not when they get the statistics about the use of the test. I choose simply 89 employees as the size of the workforce, about 10 million euros on revenues, 2020 revenues. And here, just one remark: don't wonder when there's on the check right now online. There's still standing 2014, but forget the 14. Put in the actual revenue from the last year. This is better. It's simply, I wouldn't say it's a mistake, but it should be changed. But it's right now, it's in 2014 revenues. And the company, let's say it's already has a good knowledge in the terms of Industry 4.0, has already implemented some things, is quite eager to change, but needs some external support to go on the digital transformation. This is simply that you see how we'll go on with the next slides. The first slide is about some general questions about your company. You see above the progress bar, you are familiar with from different other questionnaires or surveys or something else. So this is simply shows you how far you go with the questionnaire. So next slide shows you you put in which category best describes your company, mechanical engineering or manufacturing. The question before was, is it also possible if you're not from this industry sector? Yes, of course you are, but it's maybe not that easy to compare with other companies. But the result and the evaluation is the same as being in these two categories. Very important and it's in terms of usability of the test. You can always resume later. That means you can save your unfinished survey at any point, and then if you press this button, you will get this slide or this page where you fill in your name, password, and so on. So you can always start again from the point you stopped the survey at a different time when it maybe better fits into your timetable. So then you go on about the general questions about your company. And you see always points to choose from. And as I said before, that I have this number of employees, so I choose the 20 to 99 employees. And because I don't have the time, I just want to give you an idea of how the check works. I can't show you right now in this presentation all the questions, all the 30 to 35 questions. I will only give you a feeling how it works, and I will show you to every dimension later on some additional questions in a short way. You see it always on the right way. Additional questions are you a member from the VDMA? What are your revenues, and so on. The next goes into the first dimension, strategy and organization. A short explanation of the dimension, like you have maybe seen before in the starting page. And then it goes on to the first question. You see always above in the bar your complete status, or 21%. And because we are some kind of medium company which has already done some progress, I choose strategy and development. And also some additional questions to strategy and organization are the use of indicators to track the implementation of the strategy, the use of different technologies. I put in this case RFID, big data, and cloud. I marked it. Then also investing with implementation in industry and systematic technology and innovation management. These are questions all belong to the dimension strategy and organization. The next dimension is smart factory. Always the same thing. You get some explanation. What is smart factory? And then you go to the next question. For instance, the first question in smart factory is the question to the equipment infrastructure. And here you get asked for your functionalities of the equipment you have, and you can answer, no, it's not available, yes, to some extent, and yes, completely. Is everything, do you see my presentation? Is it okay? Okay, thank you. So I choose, because we are some kind of medium company, medium case, I choose the middle one, yes, to some extent. And there are some other questions to this dimension, like the adaptability of equipment infrastructure. Is it upgradable? Yes, it is. The collecting machine and process data, yes, some data. Type of collected data, all but only manual and not automatically. The use of collected data, yes, predictive maintenance. And the use of systems like or interfaces, yes, we use in this company, in this case study, our ERP and supply chain management, but we don't have an interface to a central IT system. It goes on, and you see already, if you answered all these questions on this dimension, you got completed 50%, and then you go to the smart operation dimension. Again, the explanation, and then the first question about the smart operations, the question about vertical and horizontal integration of the thing, and here are some parts or some from the company, like research and development, production, purchasing, logistics, sales, and the question internally between the data integration, the horizontal and vertical integration. Sometimes I marked yes, sometimes no. So it gives you the feeling about yes, it's a company which started but is still able to develop still on. So some other questions are the work piece that guides itself autonomously through the production. Yes, we are in the test phase, product processes and organization of the IT. There's a central IT department, and we have some IT security solutions in progress. And the last question in this dimension is the use of cloud service. Yes, we use some cloud services and cloud-based software. Then we go to the next one, to the smart products. You have seen before, it's another dimension in the Industry 4.0. The smart production, again, the explanation. And the first question is, does your company offer product equivalent with the following add-on functionalities like product memory, self-reporting, localization, monitoring, and so on. And also, I marked some of the questions, yes, no. You see, the way to answer these questions is very, very easy in terms of you don't have to think too much about it. You have simply often two things to choose from, sometimes three things to choose from. You have only by 2 questions a kind of slider where you give a percentage number between 0 and 100%. The other ones are almost in this very, I guess, usable and easy to use matter. So this is the question to smart productions, and it's interesting. This is the only question to smart productions. We have only this one in the questionnaire. The next thing is the next dimension is data-driven services. Again, the explanation, and then the first question. The question is the process data gathered in production enable new services. Do you offer such services? You have three three answers to choose from. I choose the middle one. Yes, we have some new services, but without integration with our customers. And then, additional questions are the share of revenues, like I mentioned before. I choose 20%. The use of collected data, 0 to 20%. The analysis of the data, and the reason, the purpose of analyzing this data. And after this comes the last dimension, the dimension of the employees, also the explanation, like you have learned it before. And the question, there are only 2 questions to employees. The question is how do you assess the skills of your employees when it comes to the future requirements under Industry 4.0? And there you can see on the left side a lot of points like IT infrastructure or data analytics or collaboration software and so on. And here you have a more sophisticated answering scheme like non-relevant, non-existent, existent but inadequate, and adequate. So they have to choose from. Always keep in mind where you come from your company. Our case study is a medium developed company, so I choose this points. So after this, the next button. The next question should be do you take some efforts to acquire the skills that are lacking? This is a simple question, yes or no, and in what fields I will do it. You will see it later if you do it on practice. So almost finished with the questionnaire, and you see we have already completed 85%. Now you can choose your comparison groups, like where you come from. And and I did it here for, you see on the right column, I choose the mechanical engineering up to 99 employees from the metal production manufacturing. And this is only important if you are from Germany, based in Germany. You can give on your company headquarter. I took it in Germany, the postal code, and if you are a member of VDMA or not, because you plan to use it in your home countries. Of course, all the companies should fill in or could fill in these things. This is later very interesting for us to see where all the users come from, but it's not. It does not have any impact on the result or the evaluation of the online check. So after this, after you have put all this information in, you press the next button, and then you get this evaluation form. It opens, and you get first the overall evaluation, and you see it here. You are on level, in this case study, the company is on level 3, it's experienced, and you see it here differentiated to the dimensions of the Industry 4.0, as we have mentioned many times before. The strategy, smart factory, and so on and so on. And you see some levels are on level 1, some dimension level 1, some levels are on level 4. But the overall and also weighted is 2.6 or 2.7. And so it's this company is within the level 3 experienced. So this is your overall evaluation you get as a company, and then you go into the more details. For every dimension, you will get it. I will show you right now only two as an example. Above, you can see the comparison group, mechanical engineering, and the number of 299 employees. So this is very important. It doesn't. It wouldn't fit if you compare it with a company or with every size of company. So you have chosen this compared with only 99 employees. So it gives you a better feeling where you stand compared to the other companies. So let's open the Smart Factory, for instance, because Smart Factory was the lowest one. Sorry, first I will show you the overall comparison. What you get here is your company has reached the level, like I said before, level 3, and only you see it here, only 4.7 companies also reached this level. That's what I mentioned before, that the self-check applies quite strict criteria, which is then also reflected in the results. Only this amount of companies reach this level, and all the other companies are below. So you are quite developed as a company and quite far in the digital transformation process. If you see this, and I guess this is a very, very important information for the companies to get in feeling, and not to feel that oh my God, I'm really the last one who deals with this theme. You can see really how the companies, more than 9,500 companies are, in this case, only up to the 99 employees, but it gives you a good feeling about your state. And then I will go to the Smart Factory dimension. There I got the company only the level 1, and there you can see 15.4 companies are in the same level, but 65.4 companies are in level 0. So this, like I said before, gives you a feeling what it means. It shouldn't frustrate you, but gives you the opposite, a good feeling to do or to get maybe to the next step. And to get to the next step, you get right now in the items here down some things how to go on for the next steps. I just simply marked some points. Integrating your current systems into your IT infrastructure, check whether your current system can be upgraded, or start with pilot projects and draw up cost benefits analysis. And the next thing could be profit from the relation from the data you collect, because I said before that we don't do it, and this is something we would recommend to do you as a company. And the next things, for instance, the extent which the data already collected can be linked to some new information for the interrelationships. Then you should think about check whether interfaces can optimize your processes and so on. So these are very practical things for the companies which they can start to do to reach maybe the next level. So this is more information than, for example, the next one, the employees, because on the employees, the company reached the level 4, which is at a very high level. So there are already a lot of things in a good shape and not that much anymore to do. So you can see already where you are, only 4.2 companies are in level 5. So this company is in really a good condition in terms of employees. So that relates to the shorter items which we would recommend to the companies. Let's say, for example, you have the skills for the implement of the Industry 4.0 in several relevant areas. But of course, if you invest in other areas, you should also improve the skills of your employees. So this should give you first impression how the test works. what are the questions, what are later on the evaluation results, and what the company is able to do with these results. And you have, I want just to mention it, you have 2 points or opportunities to get the results. First, you see it online, and you can simply, by pressing the PDF export button, you will generate a PDF, and you can use it. You can put it in your file. You can share it with your colleagues or whatever. So, and everything is, of course, like I said before, free of charge. There's nothing you have to pay for this for. So far, so good. Again, like the presentation before, thank you very much for your attention. And of course, if you have a question, I would like to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Wigan. There are 2 questions in the chat. Can you answer to them?
Okay, the first question is, can you observe an increase of self-checks? We look for this increase. We look for the surveys and the statistics since about almost 6 years, and it's almost the same amount of companies. In the beginning, it was, of course, when the study was published, much more, and then later on. But it's still big interest by the companies to use this test. So it's not a big increase, but a permanent use of the test. And we are happy that we are already reaching the 10,000 companies, because this is important for us to share the results also with the VDMA. And the second question is, do we see at the end the group size for the filter selection? A very good question. And honestly, this is something I also would like to see, because you always would like to know what is the end and what is the comparison group size, but we don't have it in, we don't have it, simply we don't have it. It would be something we should program on the existing tool, but we don't have it. I have to say sorry for that. Maybe in a development stage of the online tool, we will have it. We keep it in mind. It's a good question. Okay, these are the 2 questions. Is it right, or did I?
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Before the break, the deserved break before a very, very intensive session of working groups. So again, working groups. You will be when you come back from the break, you will be shifted to the groups, relevant groups for you. I would like to ask you to keep on your desk the scenarios that you received by email, because based on the scenarios, the different scenarios, we can work on the questionnaire. So it is essential to have the scenarios there. If anything else is needed for the moment, Selina, we should add something for the participant, or we can leave them go for a deserved break.
No, we can leave for the break. Just we will have just 4 scenarios. Just look at yours. The scenarios were attached to the agenda. So when you receive the agenda, the last page were the scenarios. You have to just look to the one of your group, of course, because on that you will answer to the, okay, I will try to resend you the scenarios. Maybe I will manage to send it in the chat so you can all download it while we are in the pause. I'll do that. And that's it. So we have a 5 minutes break.
5 minutes, yeah. By this way, we should keep our reasonable delay.
Good.
See you in the working groups.
Welcome back.
I was sending you a WhatsApp in order to understand the timing.
Yeah, we were a little bit late, but we're fine now.
Not so
okay.
much. Not so much.
Did you get, Selina, my PowerPoint in red, the answers of the colleagues?
Let me check, because I was busy sharing the screen, so I've heard some beep. Yeah, I got it. Okay, Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Nicola, I saw that Nicola is going to leave Nicola was the spokesperson of our group. He has to go away, so I will ask someone else of the group to take the lead on this, if you don't mind, in order to give, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, Elmar, for example, because he was active also.
I would also nominate Elmar.
Okay, so you nominated him.
Okay. Well, from my point of view, this readiness check is a good opportunity and good tool to give companies or for companies to evaluate their actual situation in the context of Industry 4.0. It reflects, from my point of view, the most important.
Yeah, but I mean, in any case, no. But we will have 5, more or less, 3 or 4 minutes for each one of the groups. So you will have the time to give your idea. I mean, quite soon, no? In some minutes, Saveri, if I'm not wrong, because in the agenda there is a specific slot for this.
Okay.
Yes, actually, yeah. We will have, if I'm not mistaken, like quarter of an hour. No, let me check. Yeah, we have quarter of an hour to talk about the take-home messages. So every group have like 30-something minutes. 30 minutes.
I want to go for dinner tonight.
Yeah. So actually, if anyone wants to start, we can. I just have to do the evaluation of the methodology quizzes, so I will just be there but not there. So yeah, we can do it.
So
okay, if we can start, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Is it okay?
We can start with the first group.
This is the third group.
Okay, but we start for the first.
Okay, sure.
No.
No.
Follow.
Who wants to?
Who wants to?
Just tell the group and.
Okay, we can start with the first one.
Okay, so, Patricia, great.
Yeah, I was just become a team leader like 15 minutes ago, so I can stay a team leader now and present our conclusions and remarks after filling in the report and that being a small micro company from the sector of pumps and systems that have just filled in the Industry 4.0 Readiness survey. So first of all, maybe I'll start with the end. So we were very surprised by the results of the survey, because I think we get a little bit too imaginative about what we have in the company, because in some points we were even on a second level. So for a micro company, it was quite surprising for us. But as a tool for itself, we consider it in a group as a very important one for the companies to be able to self-assess their technological maturity level. But maybe for the micro ones, some of the content of this survey can be not familiar, or they maybe are not familiar enough with the definitions or buzzwords of Industry 4.0. So this is the thing that maybe should be more explained. But on the other hand, this survey can be considered as a raising awareness tool or a starting point for thinking about the Industry 4.0 technologies in companies. And it also can be a motivation for the company to start with the technology. What we also think would be very useful after the company made the self-assessment and sees itself in a
a certain level of readiness. It could be good that after the comparison section, there will be also visible some success stories or case studies of familiar companies. So for example, that the company X was on the same level as you 1 year ago, and thanks to the self-assessment and all the tips that are in this in the report after the survey, they become on this or this level in 1 year. So this would be good to also to benchmark with other companies, but to show the success stories and where the company and the benefits of improving the Industry 4.0 technologies in the company. So or the cost effectiveness, the production effectiveness, and so on. So also the layer of benefits should be emphasized. But maybe this is the role also for the business support organizations that, for example, will promote this kind of services for companies, and can be this second layer of raising awareness and of presenting the success stories of the companies that are using or should use Industry 4.0 technologies. I think that's pretty much our conclusions. I don't know if anyone from our group would like to add something. If not, thank you very much.
Great, thank you. You did a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Patricia.
Yeah, thank you.
As a representative from the second group, I was actually appointed in the last minute, so this is more like a bit improvising. So we were assessing the nice, still relatively small company which deals with the mechanical engineering in mining sector and already has some experience. So like any other company during the assessment process, we'd like to a little bit brag out about our achievements. So I think our assessment was a bit better than it was in real life. So then the challenge for the BSO will be later on to see which elements were a bit exaggerated and which elements are actually the true, and it can be a starting point for some improvement. So we did a lot of initiatives. Maybe the biggest problem or challenge was our IT department, which is kind of attached or detached from our operation. Obviously, no one from IT department was part of the assessment process or the assessment interview. When we were doing so, all the blame went to them. But we felt that the interview was actually very short, very focused, and then the result, which actually was created as some kind of summary, might be a good starting point for future work. So I won't go into much detail because it was pretty much a fiction, and that was the biggest challenge to start with that fiction at the beginning. But once we decided that we are nice, but small, but nice and advanced company, then it was much easier. So we kind of improved our existing image in a way. Back to group number 3.
Okay, group number 3. Hi. So, okay, we were like 312 employees, company dealing in metal products manufacturing, so we actually fill in the questionnaires so that we were at the 4th level. And we discussed after at the end of the session whether it's probable that this type of the company would need the additional help from business support organization helping them to actually see their Industry 4.0 readiness, as they are quite into the subject. But from the questionnaire, we noticed that I think that Patricia also mentioned that there are some questions that are that have certain standard language applied. So in more or less that there are some consultancy or scientific language, and that we really need to keep in mind that some companies will have a problem with understanding some terms, and they probably will need somebody to help them fill those questionnaires in terms of to explain them what certain questions actually means. We also noted that there are quite a lot of of short multiple choices answers, and for us as a supporting organization, maybe it would be good to have some wider explanation for those types of questions, because the same as the previous, it's quite tough for companies to comprehend what the question actually means and what it stands for. And the last one is we noted that it would be smart to have different level of employees to give them to get the opinion from the different type of employees and from different level of employees, maybe even from the employees that work in different areas in the companies, in order to maybe to gather better perspective toward the subject, because we thought that it might be, we could have a situation that, for example, some manager in production would see, I don't know, the situation in IT differently than the, I don't know, some IT guys. So that was more or less it. If somebody would, from the team 3 would like to add something, please do.
Okay, if not, I will go on with the fourth company, which was the Fast and Curious company and manufacturer in the automotive sector with more than 400 employees and nearly 50 million euros revenues. We did some work in implementing Industry 4.0 strategy. We did technical and organizationally tasks in the past, and we have some ideas how we can improve in the future. So the results for our evaluation was that we are an experienced company. From our point of view, the tool offers a good opportunity to evaluate different approaches for the further development in the field of Industry 4.0. For sure, it covers the most essential areas of an enterprise and reflects all necessary departments. It's easy to use, it's quick and clear, so the usability is very good. As mentioned before, sometimes buzzwords are used which are very general and may not be understood or useful for small companies from my point of view. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to analyze the results and the optimization approaches in detail. So that would be interesting, but the time was too short. My personal feedback is that this tool is in summary a good possibility that perhaps only scratches the surface or on the surface, but which shows for sure essential approaches, which must be further processed by the company for itself. And therefore, I think it's important that we as a business support organization support these companies accordingly to the results of their relation. Yes, that was my personal feedback and the feedback of our group. Does anybody have some further comments? No.
Okay, I guess we finished the presentations, right? I just wrote to Mr. Vegan that we were completing the presentation so that he can appear when he wants after he finalized the scoring and the analysis of the results.
Yes, if you would like to give me about 5 minutes.
No worries.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you.
I would say, Selina, I already sent very quickly to Nicola, Elmar, the PDF of the assessment in order to because we really finished in the last seconds and we made a rush. So inside the group, we had not the time to check all the ranking that we had, and so I think it would be great to send to every one of each group the output that has been generated, so to understand our simulation where brought us to. I think I would suggest, if you agree, since I have all the email addresses of the colleagues, I will do this evening a mail to everybody for my group, so the output of my group, and I will send to everybody there. And I will suggest to someone of the other groups to do the same if they can. So everyone will have everything in front, and I mean, the leaders have been called to give a little presentation, but really with few time to understand how the company that they're supposed to represent was placed in this assessment. So I think it will. So I'm speaking also a lot because I want to give the 5 minutes to Ralph because I don't know jokes in English.
But we can also, sorry, I'm thinking the feedback questionnaire. I don't know if
I was. Yeah, we can.
Why not now?
We can anticipate the feedback question. You're right. So we can. Yeah, we save time and we can give time to Ralph to finish the work.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I will send in the chat the link.
Mm-hmm.
It's a feedback questionnaire, of course, so you can fill it in considering what we did today. So it will just take a few minutes. It's a Google form. So here it is. So if you want, you can fill it now, so we can take advantage.
So, yeah, we can give 5 minutes. No, do you agree?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Great.
Let's do also this. just to say that we're not leaving. We are just waiting for Mr. Vegan to come back. I'm just saying, because I don't want to be misunderstood.
Thanks, Alina. That's almost the same that I wanted to say.
We have a connection. Yeah, because I use this presentation that we wanted to use at the end, but as we're here, but it says goodbye, so I don't know if it could be a problem.
So I hope that most of you are still interested in the feedback from Mr. Wiegand and some debriefing about our work in the 4 separate workshops.
We are still 43 people, so.
Someone is interested actually, yeah. Sorry, I was muted. Okay, we're ready, so we can come back for the briefing.
Should I start?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay, so I will share my screen. So what I have done in a very short time, I simply put the results together and give you an idea how it works and how the results from the evaluation really make sense, fit or not fit, and I guess it fits depending on the starting point of the different scenarios. So what I have done simply, thank you very much for the sending of the results. I put together and give you just an idea, an overall overview over the different teams, and then I put together the highest levels and the lowest levels, and we will have a short look at the items which we recommend for the companies to improve their situation. So the team 1 is a science squad, is on level 1 and reached an overrated about 0.9 to keep the level 1. So it's close to reach the level 2. On the left side, you see always the scenario, but I have seen that you already explained it in the session before. So overall evaluation, team 1 is level 1. I will talk about details later. Team 2, Bazinga, is level 2, which really fits in the starting point, which we have described in the scenario. And interesting is team 3 and team 4. They differ, of course, in their number of employees and so on, but they don't differ in the starting points. But this shows how individual this tool is and gives different results. So team 3, Beautiful Mind, is in level 4, which is extremely high. I will show it later in a few minutes on the charts, and reach this level 4. and team 4, fast and curious, reaches level 3. So this is just the overview, but it makes sense, like I said before, because it wouldn't be good for the tool if you have seen that the starting point scenario 1 would right now be in level 4, level 5. Then there would first, or one opportunity would be, one chance would be the tool doesn't work, or second, the people who filled in the questionnaire filled not the proper things. And so everything, in my opinion, seems to work and fit smooth together. So after the overall evaluation, I will show you the comparing to all of the other squads. You see where this companies really got in terms of all the 9,500, or in this point in the comparison to the group which they have chosen before. So starting again, team 1. So it's level 1. It's high compared to what the overall amount of companies have, but it's only level 1. Okay, the team 2, the Basinga 2 team is level 1, and more than, let's say, this is about 80% of the companies are lower than level 2, 45% level 0, and about 35% in level 1. The team 3, the most extraordinary team in terms of the result, is in level 4. And as you can see, this is really something in real time. Only 0.1% of the companies reach this level, and 99.9% of the companies are down. So I guess I hadn't the time to watch every answer in detail, but the team 3 had probably really filled in a lot of very extraordinary and wide developed items, which is completely okay, but shows you that this is something very special. Only 0.1% is in this group. And team 4 is level 3, also very high. Almost 98% are lower than the level 3, but of course, it's not that high as in team 3. And just in a few views, just for the team 1, the highest level was the level 2 in the smart operations. This is a very good result for the overall result of level 1. And here you can see all the information, what is to do. I think we don't have the time to go in detail, but it really fits to the level and gives the company a good feeling to work on their abilities to reach the next level. And so it goes on. In team 2, the highest level is the level 3, the smart operations level. It's very high. More than 90% don't reach this level. And then you can see the things to improve to get to the next level in team Basinga, team 2, and the smart operations. The next is the team 3, the beautiful mind. The smart operations are very, very high, with only 99.5 don't reach this level. And instead, even then, there are some information for this company, for the starting point, to improve the situation. And you see the same thing by team 4. The highest dimension is strategy and organization, with also level 4, but as we have seen before, it's in summary only the level 3. And we did the same thing for the lowest thing. It's in the times squared level, the team 1 strategy and organization, it's only level 0. So there was probably no strategy so far developed or implemented or something else. And the hints and other points to improve the situation below this. And so it goes on. The team Bazinga, it's the lowest in the employee level. And the team A Beautiful Mind, it's also the employees with the hints to improve the things. There's only a few areas, so we have here some clear words. The employees have the skills needed to successfully implement Industry 4.0 on only a few areas. So it means it should be worked in this part or in this dimension to get to the next dimension. And in team 4, the Fast and Curious, the dimension data-driven is the lowest driven. There's the lowest level. There's only level 0. That isn't that big problem, because 93% of the number of the company in the same size have also no data-driven services. So this is in a very, very short and quick and dirty way to put the results together. But like I said before, it gives us a feeling for that the questionnaire and the check is able to give for the first things to do for companies a good situation, and is, I think, really usable for them. So far from my side. If you have any question, of course, like in the sessions before, go ahead. Thank you very much.
Any question? You are tired, maybe? But I think that we did it quite well, both in terms of working groups, as far, at least for the ones that I follow it, but also in terms of timing and commitment. Any remarks, comments, opinion? I guess to the lead partner to close. We have the ranking. Yes, Elena, sorry. You also wrote me by WhatsApp. Because everybody is here waiting for the final chart, the first day. Oh.
Science Squad is winning.
Because it was me inside. This is the reason.
Respect me.
But you will have time in the next meetings to recover your delay.
Yeah, it's just the beginning.
Just the beginning, yes.
Yeah.
But we started with a good step.
Yeah.
So thanks, and I leave to Eva, because it's the lead partner. It's up to the lead partner to close and to make some final remarks in case.
Thank you. I just wanted to say we're all close together. So the ranking is between 40 and I think 44 points. So quite close, and a lot of potential for the next sessions, so that the ranking changes. And I hope you have heard new things today, have had some takeaways, and have experienced very actively quite good tool for the assessment of a company. And as mentioned, it will be helpful especially for the smaller ones and less experienced companies, to support them with the assessment and to go then together with them into more depth for supporting them on their way in the digital transformation. And this is now directly handing over to the next session. We are then talking about the technology implications. So we have now experienced what is the status quo and where we could go. And in the next session, we are talking about technologies which open us opportunities to improve the company's behavior and to implement new technologies. So I'm really looking forward to meeting you all, and thanks for participating so actively today. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
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 Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Great work. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.